You knew I was going to get around to this sooner or later. The title says it all. UCLA professor claims Rittenhouse shot two black men in recent book. Says she got tiny detail wrong. And this has come under enormous fire, but I think for the wrong reason. Hello out there. I am trying to get through.
With his powerful brainwaves cradled in the warmth of reasoning, it's time for Johnnie Walker Dread to straighten you out on a thing or two. Emanating all the way from exciting Las Vegas, Oklahoma, it's the Johnnie Walker Dread Show.
Okay, so let's go ahead and read this. A professor and author is under fire for claiming Kyle Rittenhouse shot two black people during a night of civil unrest in Kenosha, Wisconsin, in August of 2020, according to a tweet. UCLA professor Kara Cooney was criticized Wednesday for claiming in her book, The Good Kings, that Rittenhouse shot two black men instead of three white men. She referred to it as a tiny detail of the book with a big mistake about a massive American issue. Okay? In the book, readers are told to consider, and this is kind of important here that we take into account all of it. Consider 17-year-old Kyle Rittenhouse, well, she got his age right, who used his semi-automatic weapon to kill two black men in Kenosha, Wisconsin. And a lot of people are saying, oh, he should sue. He's not going to be able to sue for that comment. That's clearly just a mistake, a really stupid one, but it's just a mistake. However, it goes on. While waging a glorious race war on behalf of his inherited white power, he can probably sue for that. And it's the latter part that really bothers me more than getting the wrong race. Although, to be honest with you, getting the wrong race of Kyle's assailants does really make you wonder, how in the hell did she make such a boo-boo? I mean, the Kyle Rittenhouse case has been huge news for a year now. And if she wanted to include something about Kyle Rittenhouse, any Google search of anything related to the case would have brought up the race of the people involved, the pictures and all that. How could she blow it here? Well, she did. You know, Kim Potter pulled the wrong weapon off her belt. She meant to pull the taser, she pulled the pistol. And people say, how could she make such a stupid mistake? Well, she did. And it's the same thing here. It boggles the mind that this person, a UCLA professor, could have screwed this thing up so badly, but she did, okay? But the real problem here is the comment about Kyle waging a glorious race war on behalf of his inherited white power. That is slanderous. And it's an even bigger mistake for her to put that in there without having researched it. If you're going to make a claim like that about the motives of someone, then you really, really need to do the background research first. This is inexcusable. A detail like the race of the assailants, okay. Dumb, yeah. Inexcusable, yeah. But to claim a motive for someone that's based on nothing whatsoever makes you wonder, what kind of BS is she pulling on her other studies, especially about Egypt? I mean, keep in mind, her book is about certain kings in Egypt and their motivations and such. And so if she can't get Kyle Rittenhouse's motivations correct, what is she doing with theirs? This appears to be a person who can't be bothered to look into those details, and that really should worry any historian. Let's go ahead and read on. Rittenhouse was acquitted on all charges in relation to the deaths of Joseph Rosenbaum and Anthony Huber, as well as the injury of Gage Grosskreutz during civil unrest in Kenosha on August 25, 2020. On page 341 of The Good Kings, I state, this is her talking, I state that Kyle Rittenhouse shot two black men when instead he shot two white men. That was my mistake and I apologize. Yeah, but you didn't say you were sorry. I don't like that word apologize, but whatever. The response has been a hateful stew of ridicule, which it should be, and denial that America has a race problem at all. No, it has nothing to do with that. It goes on. If one mistake in a little-known book, you're disparaging the importance of your own work? Wow. If one mistake in a little-known book about ancient Egypt elicits this much howling, it is to avoid discussing our larger problem. Okay, first of all, to claim that those who pointed out your mistake are just howling is an attempt to diminish their voice. No, you made a mistake. And the people who are getting back on this, who are jumping you for it, their views should be taken seriously. You made the mistake, not them. So don't project your problems onto them. And then, of course, it is to avoid discussing our larger problem. That's called deflection. So she doesn't want this to be about the mistake she made. She wants to shift the discussion over to something where she feels on safer ground. And of course, anything related to patriarchy, misogyny is safe ground for her. She loves to talk about it. Cooney concluded that white supremacy and misogyny are still problems in the U.S., and that idea has been pounded over and over again. We don't need a book on ancient Egypt to analyze that, okay? I'm sorry, but you need to focus. If your expertise is on ancient Egypt, then that's what you should focus on. Trying to make a connection to current events in the United States is really problematic if you don't know what you're talking about. And the very fact that you took one of the most high-profile cases in this century and completely blew some of the most basic facts about it means that your knowledge of current events here is lacking. By the way, I went to Amazon.com, customer reviews. She's getting slaughtered. 5-star, 23%. Those are her colleagues, by the way. I mean, when you put out a book, your colleagues are all going to go on there and talk about how great it is. Keep in mind that promoting one's own professors, your colleagues there, is always good for the department. So they're always going to do that. 4 stars, 4%, 3% for 3 stars, 3% for 2 stars, and 2/3 1 star. So yeah, she's getting hit by it. And by the way, a lot of the critical reviews, if you read them, are clearly coming from people who are not Trumpers. They're people who are just disappointed with her work and would have wanted it to be better. So scholarship, keep in mind the whole point of writing these books and doing this research is to add to the knowledge base. But the trouble is that books don't really count for that. In my opinion, I don't care how many books a professor has published. They don't count. The only things that count are published, refereed scholarly articles. And if she had submitted the claims she's making here to a refereed journal, they would have caught this. They would have slammed her pretty hard. I know, I've been slammed myself a few times, although I disagreed with them. But whatever the case, this is the reason why we don't take books seriously. They're not refereed. They do not count as scholarly works. Not my book, and I think most people should adopt that view. Why? Anybody can publish a book. So you're supposed to add to the knowledge base, but she doesn't. If anything, she's added to the confusion because now you don't know what to trust. By the way, one of the biggest pro-Kyle people around is Barbara, who also goes by the name of Scarlett. And she's had a rough go of it lately. She's been trying to raise money to buy her first car. And I told her that I would go in here and see if I can't direct some of you onto her GoFundMe page. So if you can spare a little money, go on there, give her a little bit of money there. She has been very vocal in her support of Kyle Rittenhouse and Dominic Black from day one. So see what you can do. She was very disappointed. She only made $50 so far of the $500 that she has set for her goal. And I told her I'd help her out. Like my videos, subscribe to my channel.